I just finished this one up. It's made out of western red cedar, 2x4. I picked up from Lowe's. I used chisels, files, and I used a wind Dremel this time, which really speeded things up. I got the idea for the hat. I was watching a movie last week, Countess Dracula from 1970. I watched part of it. The opening scenes, there were some riders on horseback, and they were wearing these really tall hats like they wear at Buckingham Palace. I thought that looked kind of cool. So this is supposed to be a lantern. I was thinking about putting it up here, have him hold his hand, hold it up here, but I'm not very good at hands yet. This is only the third one I've done. And then in the right hand, maybe hold a shovel, like he's at during the night, trying to dig something up or bury something. Wasn't able to pull that off, so I just put a lantern down here. I guess you could say it might be an hourglass too, so whatever. I could have had him hold like a crystal ball, or have his hands out, like one hand hold the moon, one hand hold the sun, make him into a sort of a father time sort of a character. But this is the third one. I signed this one. See, I put my name on there. A lot of glare, I know, but just took me about a week, just an hour or two a day, I did this one before. This is the praying ghost. And this is the first one I did in the round. I called her Grandma. Anyway, I like western red cedar because it's really soft wood, easy to carve. It's green. The kind I get is green. That means there's a lot of water content still in the wood because the tree was just cut down, hasn't had time to dry out yet. That causes problems when it comes to detail, like in the eyes. It's really hard to make the eyes realistic, which I'm not really into realism right now. I'm looking to kind of, I'm really not into that right now, but the Dremel really speeded up. It's actually a win, but I broke my flex shaft, so I used just a regular Dremel. For carving in here, it took a lot of material off real fast, and the back, but the face I did mostly with chisels, and down here I did mostly with files. I use a file quite a bit, the Shinto rasp file, and then finer files after that. So it's kind of like a robe. See how it's kind of curved in there? But I thought it turned out, it turned out, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I don't know how well it turned out. I mean, I know there's a lot of flaws that are my fault. I don't want to badmouth these things because after they're made, they kind of take on a life of their own almost. Not that they're idols or anything like that, but I just don't feel comfortable bad-mouthing them, but I see where I could improve, maybe sand better and make it smoother. I got to smooth it out somehow, but overall I'm pretty satisfied. This is the third one I've done. I want to maybe try to make a bird house. I've made bird houses in the past. I've been making them for a long time, but maybe make a spirit, like a wood spirit birdhouse with the face of a wood spirit on the front, and then instead of hanging it up, just screw it into a post, a wooden post or something. So the birds will have a place to live in the wintertime, or so they can hibernate. Anyway, I just wanted to get this documented on YouTube. I'll probably just upload it without notifying my subscribers if YouTube still has that option. I know they're trying to get rid of it. I think you can still do that with the old classic YouTube uploader. I'll check on that. But hope everybody's staying safe and taking advantage of the time you have off of work from the coronavirus. Find something you like to do, keep up with the music, and maybe take up painting or sewing, maybe cooking. Just time. You don't want to squander too much time because we only have a finite amount of time here on Earth, so might as well try to utilize it. Doing something you like to do, something that's relaxing, helps you to calm down a little bit. If you're able, if you're willing and able, then I highly recommend it. I've wasted so much time in my life from watching too much TV, and I still watch too much TV. But I try to do this, an hour, 2 hours a day I don't want to sound like a loser, but it's hard to do it sometimes, because I got problems, but I try to do what I can on it, and it makes a big difference mentally. It helps you take your mind off of stuff. So for wood carvers, I just want to say one thing. I'm new at wood carving, and I know finish is a big subject among the wood carving people, but I stumbled upon, through dumb luck really, crystal clear acrylic finish. It's like $4 a can at Lowe's, and 3 coats is all it takes. It dries real fast. Within 10 minutes you can just put on another coat. I do 3 coats and call it quits. No more lacquer, no more polyurethane, no more boiled linseed oil. I tried all those with my first couple carvings, and I like this by far the best. It looks the best by far, better than lacquer even, better than polyurethane, in my opinion. Better than boiled linseed oil, better than Danish oil. I've tried all those. So it's called crystal clear, I can't think of the name of the rest of it. Krylon crystal clear. I use a satin. It comes in gloss and flat as well. So I just wanted to show you guys how it turned out. A lot of things that could be done, but there's a lot of possibilities too. This is only my 3rd one, and I'm really surprised how quick I've picked it up on doing this. I carved a couple wood spirits before this, and then I just said, I'm going to carve something in the round, and I'll show you where I got the idea. I go to thrift stores, hunting for stuff like this, and I found this, and that gave me the idea to carve this, and then this. But there's no videos that show you how to carve something like this in the round. You just have to kind of eyeball it and take a leap of faith and dive in somewhere. I remember when the first one I did on this, I had no idea where to start, except for I put this on a piece of 2x4, on a 2x4 lumber, and roughly traced around this. After that, you're kind of, you got to dive in somewhere. And I remember I started in the back. I did not carve this one. I picked this one up from the thrift store. But on this, I started carving in on the back. And I said, wow, that actually looks something sort of like this. So you get a little bit of confidence, and then you carve in here and there. And before you know it, it's done. Then you get a little bit better, you do the next one, turns out a little bit better, then the next one maybe a little bit better. You learn as you go, and best thing about it is it takes your mind off stuff, makes you feel a little bit better about yourself, like you accomplished something, that you didn't waste time. Time is something that is ticking away, slipping through the hourglass. The candle's burning down, I could have done that with this carving. I could have had I was thinking about putting in a little clock here, a real clock. Maybe I will on a different one. Maybe I'll get a 4x4 or 4x6 and make it twice as big. And then put carve a candle, and then carve a clock, carve a sun, a moon, maybe stars in the robe. There's a lot of it. It's infinite, the ideas, Put your artistic mind, your creativity part of your brain to work, and you'll be surprised all the different things you could come up with. But you got to dive in. You got to dive in somewhere. Take a leap of faith somewhere along the line and just dive in, and then start. And then if you make a mistake, if you think it's not going to work, just compensate for it. Just compensate and keep going. I thought I was going to have to trash this one when I accidentally cut in a little bit too deep on the face there. But, now I'm kind of used to it. It doesn't bother me that much. The eyes kind of got away from me, but I like how they look now. It looks kind of menacing. I have to get used to it. I'm not really interested in realism when it comes to this kind of thing. Maybe later. I understand the theory on how to carve out eyes, but I'm not sure I know how to do it. There's a difference between knowing how it's done and knowing how to do it, I think. But it's something that can be learned. Something I got to work on are the hands. The hands go through the robe here, and they're supposed to be underneath there. You can kind of, sort of, maybe see a hand there, and an impression that there's a hand under there somewhere. But most of the hand is inside the robe. So anyway, I just wanted to show off this new carving I did, and pretty excited about it, faults and all. But like I say, I don't want to badmouth it too much. Kind of like they take on a life of their own after they're done. So have a good day. Stay safe from the coronavirus, or whatever they're calling it now. It's changed names a few times. I've lost track. But this one's not anything to mess with, especially if you're older or if you got health problems like diabetes or respiratory problems. But what you doing there, Willow? This is Willow. Willow. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here. Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Willow. My little butterball. I call her my little butterball because she's pretty plump, like a turkey. She's real shy and skittish. I think she's still afraid of me a little bit. Woody is really, he's not afraid of anybody. He's real friendly, and so is she, but she just takes a long time to get to know you, A lot of cats are that way. And I think you're just born that way. Just like you see a litter of pups or a litter of cats, when they get a little bit older, one will jump right in your lap, the other one will go hide behind a desk somewhere. It's just their genetics. So anyway, take care, everybody. Hope you have a good day.